Hello there, and thank you for having me at your prestigious event, the North American Blockchain Conference. We're more than delighted to give you a little bit of an update what we do as a European Blockchain Association, and also, of course, a little bit of a European perspective on how blockchain and all the crypto-related assets and things are moving on a European scale. So first of all, the European Blockchain Association is by definition a decentralized association, which means that everybody who works with us is really under a specific governance model that is underlying all our work. So all our work groups, all our XSC coin tenders, all our actions, all our events, and everything that we do is strictly decentralized, which brings us to a point where we are, in that case, really different to any other association out there that is normally structured in a regular, very offline way. In COVID times, of course, this brings huge advantages as we are flexible enough to not only represent our members, but also giving us the opportunity to really stick into specific topics that are now very, very demanding on the one hand, and on the other hand, of course, bringing us the opportunity to get into work group characters for extra fast results. And of course, on the other hand, also, not also results, but also actions being taken on a European level in order to proceed with those specific issues. For example, the Staking Facility Group just issued a positioning paper regarding staking power, and our members in that group represent nearly 65% of all the staking power in Europe. So what they write is not only valid, but also has a lot of power in terms of where in future regulation in staking, for example, can take place, and to make Europe, specifically to other regulatory areas, more attractive or different. So coming to our European approach, and this is, I think, a great bridge to that, is, as you might know, Europe is out of the 27 member states, a very, very diverse restriction. And out of Brussels, there are different departments who are responsible in order to make those different directives go through to the governments, and those governments then decide on how to put them into action, and also on the time frame, on what time matter they will put them into action. To give you an example, there is the latest, which is called the Proposal for Markets on Crypto Assets, called MiCA, and what they call pilot regime for market infrastructures based on DLT technology. So we, as the European Blockchain Association, see these MiCA engagements as a political milestone for crypto adoption. Because remember, all those crypto adoptions prior to that had no really ground on a regulatory basis, which gives us a very fully harmonized market and established on a legal certainty for crypto asset issuers on the one hand and service providers on the others. Thanks to that MiCA regulation framework, we expect the crypto market in Europe especially to flourish and to further mature, of course, and to be more interesting for institutional investors to enter the market in the future. Which means also, of course, not only due to the current hype of Bitcoin, but to a more constant hype on crypto assets in order to investments, with a little bit less volatile investment structures. In several public consultations and political meetings during those last 2 years where the MiCA framework was defined, we've been calling for a binding and unified regulation on Europe in this area, and therefore we of course highly appreciate the comprehensive EU Commission proposal as a whole. Due to the size and the relevance of the EU single market, MiCA could potentially set global standards, shape crypto regulation international, and attract, therefore, even more outside and external participants all over the world and from everywhere. We are fully committed, therefore, to support the EU in this matter, and because of the global vanguard with regards to crypto regulation, and to offer our, as EBA consulting and EBA knowledge centers, advice throughout the way as the largest European association, therefore which is covering all Europe and the biggest basically with the representatives. And therefore we provide first initial feedback there also on a regular basis. And designing those MiCA framework as a binding and direct applicable regulation is very crucial, and it's crucial for the market, and it's crucial for the new asset class in order to be not only trustworthy but have a constant trustworthy relevance in the investment cycle, especially in the institutional cycle. And therefore it harmonizes the European crypto market, ensures a level of playing field for issuers and also service providers, and creates a legal certainty for businesses and consumers alike. We highly appreciate the extension of the passporting regime to the new crypto asset service providers, which enables not only growth but competitiveness and opened up a large and attractive market for innovative market participants in the future and upcoming, also in terms of regulatory issues. We also support, of course, the differentiation of crypto assets categories. As you know, there are different crypto asset categories defined on the European level in the regulation, as well as a clear distinction between financial and non-financial crypto assets. And overregulation in form of several applicable regulation regimes should be prevented. And therefore it is very good to have those kind of regime as in first place in order to get not over-regulated and therefore losing a lot of time. We invite, of course, the European Commission and the supervisory advisories, as long as also you guys, in order to get in contact with us if you have any questions there and if you want to participate in the future development. As you know, it is work in progress, especially in a vital area as we are all around blockchain, crypto assets, and everything decentralized as a ledger technology. The treatment of this possible hybrid crypto asset requires further clarification. There are some things like a hybrid, especially in Liechtenstein and some other regulatory areas, but on the Euro level there needs to be more clarification, as it is a little bit of a gray area. From our point of view, it is still unclear how MiCA as a regulation would interact with, for example, MiFID II when it comes to so-called hybrid asset classes on a crypto layer, which likely certain elements of financial instruments at any given point of its life cycle. In our view, it should be dealt with a scope of respective financial instrumental rules that are already existing and that really would be a great groundwork in order to work on. Especially the token category within the crypto asset category of utility tokens needs some further clarification in our view. As you know, the crypto assets in terms of utility token offerings had their hype and also their major risks, as there is not really any entity behind it. And how exactly does it differ from cryptocurrencies, and what kind of blockchain-based digital representatives of assets are not under this scope? In order to prevent regulatory and uncertainties within the MiCA scope, we think that definitions and guidelines about cryptocurrencies, such as Bitcoin and the application within the MiCA, as well as clarification, needs to be done and needs to be as necessary as possible, especially in the token security and token field. As you know, there is a lot of undefinitions and a lot of people are talking about different things, even they think it's the same. Therefore, in the first step, it has to be defined in a very proper way, as everybody, especially from the institutional side, in terms of investors, need to be sure where, what, and why to invest, and how to get the money back in terms of return on investment. In regards to the EMoney token, it is very important to note that certain EMoney tokens need to fulfill requirements, both from the MiCA regulation in the European directive, but also in the same time the so-called Directive 2009/10/EC. For the sake of clarity, we suggest to reconsider a clear regulation of e-money within one regulatory framework, only in order to prevent over-regulation. It is still unclear, however, how the proposed regulation would affect entirely the DeFi, the decentralized finance services market. We would be in charge for issuing a white paper, but if you want to be part of that white paper, of course, you're more than invited to be part of it. Just contact us at www.oiplus.org or www.europeanblockchainassociation.org. So in rounding it up, just to give you an idea on the European perspective, the Europe has seen a lot of change within the token economy, from skeptic to hysteric to panic to really now on a secure level, a regulatory approach as an underlayer to develop further development and having an even better future for all of us, not only the existing market participants who are kind of the heritage of the market and of course who have a lot of deep technical knowledge, but also for the newcomers and especially the institutional investors. We as European Blockchain Association stand for uniting and stand also for a decentralized future. Therefore, whatever you want to do within Europe, we are more than happy to help you in order to network, get open the contacts, and also prosper within your business out of the North American region to Europe or to the rest of the world. I wish you a great upcoming conference, a great couple of days, and of course all the other insights from the fantastic speakers. Thanks again to the organizers and have a great day.